Hey guys, so I figured I'd make a video again. It's been a little while, there's a lot to cover. So the meet is 6 weeks from yesterday. So I'm gonna go full power at this one, that's why I've been squatting. And squats have been going pretty well. And someone commented on the last squat video, the 518 triple. They were said like bone crusher, and I was like, yeah, I play Never Scared the song because I'm always terrified going into a heavy squat. And this is so true, like no one talks about this, but anytime I'm going into a heavy squat, I'm terrified. I'm scared to death. I don't know if, I think that's a pretty normal feeling that no one just talks about. No one talks about it, but like if you're going for a PR squat, you know, really heavy weight that you feel like is gonna crush you through the floor, you're gonna be scared. It's normal. I think we all feel that. So that's why squats are like one of the most mental lifts, to try to push through that feeling of like, this weight feels like it's gonna kill me. There's a lot of things that could go wrong on squat, whereas like a deadlift, you just can't get the bar off the ground, or bench. Like for me, I have the safety set where I can just literally set the bar on the safeties if I miss a bench. And I try to do that kind of with squats too, but it's not quite the same. Squats are just so much more intimidating, but you're not alone. I feel that all the time. Like every single squat set where I go heavier, I'm scared going into it. So it's just the mental aspect of overcoming that. That's one of the things I like about squats. They push you in that sense. They're not as taxing as a deadlift. Like I don't get the CNS fatigue that I do on a deadlift. There's still some, but not to the same degree. But it just really, you have to get into your own head to overcome the weight on squats. Now another thing, a lot of guys are having SI joint issues, and I know all about that. That's basically what was plaguing me all year, as far as my hip contributing to the SI joint pain. And that's why I say, like, get a lacrosse ball. I don't have one right in front of me, but get a lacrosse ball. Dig into the TFLs. So the TFLs are kind of, I can't show you guys, but it's like the side of your hip. Like if you lay on the floor on a lacrosse ball and that side area, the side of your hip, it's going to hurt like heck. You're going to dig into that TFL, and you can feel it kind of work in there on both sides. That will help open up the SI joint. Make sure, there's some videos out there. Jordan Shallow, he's got a great video on it. Make sure you have enough internal rotation of your hips. If you don't have enough internal rotation of your hips, that can also contribute to the SI joint issues. There's a million reasons you could have SI joint issues, but typically it's coming from some kind of tightness somewhere. Something's pulling on your back and creating that problem. And everybody always defaults to the hip flexors, but that's usually not the case. The hip flexors aren't that involved in squat and deadlift like these other smaller muscles, the glute medius and things like that. So look into the glute medius. You could not have proper glute activation. It's usually not core weakness either, but it could be core weakness. But everyone does planks and stuff, so it's probably not that. Could be improper glute activation, could be tight TFLs, could be lack of internal rotation, all sorts of these things. And mine still flares up. Like I still feel it all the time. It's just it's getting better. As I get less tight, it's getting better. So you have to work on getting less tight over time, and that's going to be the thing that's going to help you. A couple other things, supplements I'm taking. So my testosterone levels, total test was 288, free test was 10. Those are pretty awful. That was a year off anabolic steroids, testosterone, all that kind of stuff. So I looked into these natural test boosters that everybody's talking about. Andrew Huberman kind of made it popular. He went on Mark Bell's podcast, and More Plates, More Dates, and some other people, Joe Rogan. And he said that Fedosia, so there we go, Barlow's Fedosia extract. That's one of the ones he said will boost LH, luteinizing hormone, which will in turn raise your testosterone levels. So I'm taking one of these in the morning, 500 milligrams. Tongkat Ali, that's the other one. Now this wasn't the brand. They said Solar Ray, but that was sold out on Amazon. So this one had good reviews. This is 1,000 milligrams. I take 2 of these a day. 2 capsules is 1,000 milligrams. So I'm about 2 weeks into that. I don't really know if my testosterone levels have gone up yet. I feel a little stronger for sure. And I also feel like my body temperature is warmer. So I was cold all the freaking time. And I feel like this has raised my body temperature. So that could be from the testosterone levels going up. That's an interesting thing to know, but I'll get blood work the week of the meet, 6 weeks out, and we'll find out. I'm also taking Propranolol, which is a beta blocker I take after I train to get my heart rate down a little bit. Take telmisartan for blood pressure and ARB. I take rosuvastatin, which is Crestor. It's a statin I take every other day for my cholesterol levels. and then I take 10,000 IUs of vitamin D per day. So even though I'm off steroids and all that stuff, SARMs, whatever, completely natural in that sense, I still like to maximize my body as far as my health and everything with natural supplements. So I'm not on any steroids or anything like that, but I'm still taking, what is that, like 7 natural supplements? So I really like to maximize things like I want that cholesterol low, I want the heart rate low, I want the blood pressure low. Those are the big 3. Not trying to have a heart attack here. Body weight still is about 228. What is that? That's 4 kilos. And just getting ready for the meet. You know, the highest I pushed squats when I was natural was 570 way back in the day. That was high bar and without sleeves, albeit. But I'm trying to push up to that level again. And then bench is obviously way ahead of where it was back in those days because I didn't really take bench seriously and didn't train it that hard. I trained deadlift hard. I trained squat hard. I didn't train bench hard. Deadlift, I'm not really sure where it's at. I've been taking a bit of a break from it in training due to the SI joint issues. I've been trying to push squat in hopes that squat will bring deadlift up. We'll find out. And the other thing you got to remember too is like, I saw somebody talk about this. So steroids obviously made me much stronger. I mean, going from a 570 squat naturally to 770, you know, that's a big difference, 200 pounds. Same with deadlift, going from 700 on calibrated plates to 870 on calibrated plates. That's almost 200 pounds again. And bench was like 335 up to 463. So these are significant differences. Now, had I waited longer, I obviously could have gotten stronger than that, but I hopped on when I was 20. And back then, the thing was my body was like a brand new car. It's like driving a brand new car off the lot. 0 miles, 0 issues. There's nothing, no repairs, nothing you have to fix. Whereas now, I'm like a car with 200,000 miles on it. Like my body's beat to heck, and I've got all these issues. So it's not just a combination of like being natural now for why things are tougher. I've got 200,000 miles on the machine here. My test levels are still low. Hopefully they've come up a bit from the natural supplementation, but I'm trying to come back. It's a difficult process. Like I said, every step higher with the weights is a step in the right direction. So that's all I can do right now. If you're interested in coaching, shoot me an email at prstrength1@gmail.com. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I think that's about it.